Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another Buzzing Chat Show here on Buzzing Pattaya, and to today's topic, and that's keeping yourself out of harm's way and out of trouble. And yes, it's a difficult topic to talk about, because obviously no one likes to highlight the problems that may or may not be around the corner, and certainly we don't want to discourage you from coming out here, because this is a fantastic city. However, as with every party capital around the world, be it back in England, you know, there's some party hubs there, or wherever you are in the world, you know, when it's fueled full of women and alcohol, generally speaking, there's potentially trouble around the corner. So what I'd like to do in this video is literally just go through some tips and things that I think you should bear in mind, specifically if you've never been here before. You know, it is a fantastic place to come to. It's an incredible city. You are going to have an amazing time, but you need to keep your wits about you, particularly if you're involved in any of the situations that I'm going to describe to you now. What I would say, guys, is if you have been through some situations out here that we're going to talk about today, please, you know, share your comments below, share your experiences. What happened? Did you get out of the situation? Did it turn nasty? You know, what was the outcome? Because everyone can learn from each other's situations. So it's really powerful that we comment the way we do, and thank you very much. And guys, if someone has been honest enough to say, look, I did this and I ended up with that, let's be respectful to each other. You know, we've got a fantastic community here, so please, let's not harangue each other. We've all made mistakes in life, so let's just learn from them. Okay, so as always, please guys, have a look on Discord. I won't go into it anymore other than saying we've got 12,300 members now, so crack on, have a look at that. It's growing from strength to strength. Thank you very much to all of those of you who have subscribed to the channel. Over 43,000 subscribers now, absolutely amazing. I'm so honoured and flattered that people are following the channel the way that you guys do, so thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please have a look at the subscribe button and come and join us. All right, I will throw some videos over the top, because I know, we know, you know, that's what we've got to do. So I will get myself out of picture right now, and let's crack on with our first subject, and that is confrontation. It happens, it's part and package of life. Very few of us will ever go through our entire lives without being in a situation like I'm going to describe, of some form or degree. The difference is, out here, you have to remember that you are a tourist or an expat, but either or, you are already on the back foot. So we need to make sure that you're completely prepared for that and that there's no issues ahead of you. First one then, you're going to come across 5 types of confrontation, be it with the girls, the ladyboys, Thai men, other tourist stroke expat phalangs, and Thai street vendors. They're the 5 that are going to mainly be in your way, where there could possibly be the confrontations. So let's talk about the girls. Now with the girls, obviously, you know, let's not kid ourselves, all right? It's very easy to think, oh, this 48 kilo little pocket rocket, she's fine, she's not going to be a problem. Trust me, guys, never ever underestimate these girls, okay? They can be very volatile. Remember, as part of their growing up, their childhood in schools, they are taught with the very basics of Muay Thai, and they are not frightened to stand their ground. You know, when you look at the Thai girls with the Thai lads and the way they are with them, you know, they are not frightened to stand their ground and to defend themselves, or potentially have a go at you because you've done something that they're not what's the word I'm looking for? They're not particularly happy with. So if you're in a situation, guys, be it wherever, be it outside in the bars, be it in your condo, wherever, and you get that feeling, or it's very clear that she's very upset and that things may progress into a violent confrontation, be very, very calm. It's important that you stay extremely calm. If you start getting animated, and certainly if you get physical, guys, you are on your way down to the monkey house, or at best you're going to be presented with a huge fine. Remember, you are a guest here. Now that doesn't mean to say that you're going to be the punch bag, but what it does mean to say is you've got to use your wits about you, and you've got to be a bit calm. So stay calm. Walk away from the situation as best as you can. Even if she's jumped on your back and she's clawing you and all the rest of it, that sounds terrible, but anyway, but just remain calm. Do not put your hands on her, because that is the license for you to be either arrested or face a huge fine, and you know where we're going with that kind of fine. So try to get yourself into a neutral situation where you can seek advice from maybe a Thai security guard, or maybe someone in the street. Try to stay calm and just don't get involved. I know it's very, very hard, but try to keep yourself calm. Girls get very jealous. Remember, you're their walking ATM. So if you are having a laugh and a joke and another girl starts to get a bit friendly with you, your said partner of that moment in time may decide to have a go at the other girl. listen, if that starts happening, do not get involved, okay? I'm going to keep saying this 100 times. Keep out of it. Let them two rock and roll. Let them do what they want, because the minute you start intervening, the minute you lay your hands on another Thai person, you are in a world of trouble. So please, if that altercation does start, step back, let the people deal with it. I'm quite sure that their friends and all the rest of it around will soon jump in and try and calm it down, or whatever will happen will happen. But whatever does happen, keep yourself away from trouble. Drunk. You know, the girls drink a lot here. It's not uncommon to see a girl that's had a few too many. They can get a bit leery, they can get a little bit, what do you call it, boisterous. So again, you know, just be very, very careful, guys. Likewise, manhandling her if she's stumbling around, you know, just be a bit careful, because that one hand that you might be grabbing on her arm to try and help her stay up may be deemed as physical or whatever, and you know, it can cascade out of trouble, out of control. So please, guys, and I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what the hell is he going on about? Trust me, whether you believe me or not, these things will happen if you don't do what I'm saying, or not do what I'm saying, but you know, if you don't heed the advice that myself and people that are going to comment in below, you could end up in a lot of trouble. And trust me, there's no country in the world where you want to be in trouble that's worse than this country here. It really isn't. It's going to cost you guys. So if you do see her stumbling and fumbling around, step back, try and get her friends to help her. Just avoid all physical contact whatsoever. Ladyboys. Now, I've covered this recently in a video we did about things that are going to happen when you come out. And I did mention, if you didn't see the video, there's a link down below. I mentioned about the fact that you are going to come across ladyboys. So remember, point number one, the description, lady boy. Now, these lady boys will definitely have gone through school doing Muay Thai. It's part and package of their upbringing. They may have gone to Muay Thai camps. I've seen some lady boys seriously take off their stilettos, and they've handed out an ass kicking to some big ass dudes I've seen over here. It's been quite hilarious, to be honest. You're seeing a chick with a dick with a miniskirt up around her waist giving this big 6'7" dude a leathering. It's quite funny. But the point being is this, is you are now presenting yourself in front of a guy. This guy has been trained in fighting. It's part and package of how they grow up here in Thailand. So for goodness sake, if you do make a mistake, let's say you're not realizing that you are with a ladyboy, don't get offensive. Don't start shouting and screaming. Just take it on the jaw and say, oh, it's okay, listen, it's not for me. Thank you very much. Can I please buy you another drink? And I'm going to see my friends. And just step away, guys. Just step away. Don't go, oh God, look what the fuck. Oh God, none of that. Just calm down. So one thing you can be assured of is, and the guys that have been out here before will tell you this, is that ladyboys work in gangs. They all stick together. They don't take any shit, and they really will stand their ground. So, you know, you've got to be very careful. If you do get into an altercation with a ladyboy, you're not going to be likely just to be dealing with one. You'll probably deal with 3 or 4 at best, maybe more. And of course, you know, remember, when the police turn up, guess whose side they're going to take? Even though you're in the right. You may well be in the right. So again, everything I can say to you is one thing only. Try to stay calm. I know it's difficult, but just walk away. You know, it's always, they say, you know, walk away and live another day, tell the tale. It's far better to do that, particularly out here, than stand your ground. I don't care whether you're Rocky Marciano, whatever. Listen, I've worked at doors for years. I can handle myself. I've boxed for years. I just say, I'm really sorry, and I walk away. It's just not worth the aggravation. It really, really isn't. So if you do stumble into a ladyboy situation, again, remain calm, be polite, be respectful, step away, live to tell the tale. Thai men. All right, now you've got to remember that right here in the city, okay, you're coming here, flashing the cash, being the big I am and all the rest of it, and you're parading around with all the Thai ladies. And there is a underlying feeling of resentment, and it is there. The Thai guys are lovely. They're welcoming, they'll help you out, they're nice people, but the underlying feeling is that they are a little bit resentful that you're coming here acting as like King Dingaling. And you can understand that, because if the roles were reversed, you know, you're back home and in comes this guy and just wads of cash around, starts, you know, all the rest of you think, look at that guy over there. But it is what it is. However, you need to be very, very careful around Thai men. If there's nothing else out of this video I can give you, please be very, very careful around Thai men. Even if the person that you're around is a friend of yours, that friend's friends may not be as welcoming. So just please be very, very careful. So incidences that I've seen. I've been in Walking Street before, and I've been walking down through there going to do some photography. I've seen a guy stumble out of a bar before drunk, bumped into a Thai guy, and just told the Thai guy to do one when the guy confronted him. And next thing you know, there was about 6 guys around him, and it wasn't pleasant. It was very unsightful. But the point being is this: all the guy had to do is go, "I'm sorry, mate," and just keep walking. But because he was a lot bigger than this Thai man, he decided to stand his ground, was disrespectful, was abusive, and in the end, he paid the price. He was carted off in an ambulance, and trust me, he wasn't going to be going anywhere for a good few days. And all for what? Just because he'd had a beer, bumped into a Thai guy, decided he was bigger, and decided to be the big I am. And he ended up with egg on his face. And possibly a large hospital bill, I would imagine, as well. So, if you do bump into a Thai guy, just be politeful. And remember, a lot of the things out here that go on are down to losing face. They don't want to lose face, particularly to a Westerner. So if you do confront a Thai man, he will not stand down. He will not stand down. And that's why their friends all around them join in to assist him if they think he's not going to be able to stand the ground and deal with it. And that's why they fight in packs. And it's simply because that Thai man does not want to lose face. It's really, really a frowned upon situation. Oh yeah, he got his arse handed to him by a foreigner. You know, it just doesn't happen, and that's why they fight in packs. So again, guys, please, please be very, very, very careful. Just keep yourself away from trouble. If you've got a situation in a go-go bar where maybe you disagree with the bin and you think, no, I'm not paying that, just pay it, guys. It's money. All right, whatever the disagreement is, let's be real. It's going to probably be a tenner, 20 quid, whatever. It's just going to be pennies in comparison to what could happen. And those security guards that are on the doors of all these go-go bars will deal with it. Trust me, they will deal with it. I've seen it happen many times. They will deal with it. So, number one, if you do find yourself bumping into a Thai guy or whatever, be polite. Yep, sorry, mate, no dramas, and just keep walking. Don't stand, don't stop, just bump in and put your hand up. I'm sorry, guys, and just keep walking. Get away from the situation. Number two, if you haven't paid a bin or there's a discrepancy on the bin, even if you know you are right, stand your ground. You may put yourself into a very volatile situation. And the question you have to ask yourself is it worth it over a couple of quid? Really? All you could do is think with your feet, okay, there's my bin. That's the extra money that you put on my bin that I disagree with. Walk out that door, never to go back again. And they lose a customer long term rather than a couple of quid short term. So, please try to be, just try to be a bit level headed with it. It really is, it can be tough. And I'm sure there's guys watching this channel now that have been in that situation, particularly in the go-go bars where maybe there's been what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say discussion, not discussion. When they don't agree with it, a disagreement. That's the word. See, I knew I'd get there in the end. Yeah, there might, you may have had a disagreement over the amount. How did you handle it? What was your outcome? Did you just pay it, walk out? Did you stand your ground and argue the toss, and in the end, the manager or the mama-san dealt with it, or did things go tits up? What happened, guys? And please, if you do share. When you do share whatever goes on, like I say, guys, be respectful to each other. Listen, we've all made mistakes. It's part and package of life. Other foreigners, phalangs. Now, what we do get out here quite a lot is we get guys that maybe have been saving up all year, not necessarily going out that frequently back home, coming out here and ready to party hard. And fair play to you guys. I hope you have a fantastic time. I really do. Total respect for you for doing what you've done. However, when you come out here, we see guys that sadly cannot handle their drink, and they become a target. They become a target for pickpockets, they become a target for bin padding, they become a target for many, many things. But likewise, if you do have a foreigner that's drunk, they are more confrontational, likely to be confrontational with you if you're another Westerner than they are with a Thai person. And the simple reason being is it goes back to the old Billy Big Spuzz. Oh yeah, don't you bang into me, blah, blah, blah. And next thing, it's more common, it's more well known that foreigners versus foreigners tend to kick off a lot more than a foreigner with a Thai. And, whatever it is, whatever the discrepancy is, whatever the disagreement, again, guys, just try and remain calm. Just keep away from trouble. It's really not worth it. The old bill will come, you know where that's going to lead. You're going to go down to Soy 9. You'll probably spend a night in the cells. You may have a fine to pay. They may even threaten you with court action, and then you've got a bigger fine to pay. You know where I'm going with it. So guys, you know, just try and keep yourself away from arguments. It's just not worth it. Come out here, handle your drink, have a great time, enjoy this city for what it is. It's an amazing city. It really is fantastic. But try to keep yourself away and out of trouble rather than land yourself in hot water. Lastly, street vendors. I think over the last 10 years, I think I've probably seen about 4 or 5 altercations where a street vendor is trying to sell you their goods, and quite frankly, you're not having any of it. And then I actually see a guy once on Second Road. It was just almost by the Tip Plaza, and a guy was selling, you know, when they walk around with the trays, and inside the trays they got all the Comagra and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, this guy wasn't having any of it. And the guy stood there. You know, they do stand still, so you'll say, no, I'm okay, mate. And they just stand there. And they stand there hoping that maybe you might change your mind. Anyway, this said situation, the guy didn't change his mind. He turned and said, look, mate, I told you, now fuck off. And the Thai man didn't like that at all, as you can imagine. Next thing you know, the guy's pushed the Thai man. He's dropped the board he had with all the tablets and the gels in. And within about 30 seconds, there was 3 or 4 taxi guys there, and it was just absolute carnage. And the sad thing was that situation could easily have been avoided by just saying no thank you, turning your back on the guy and ignoring him, and he would have walked away. I've also seen a Chinese guy chased along Beach Road when he's argued over the jet skis. And yes, we know jet skis are problems here, we know that. Not everywhere, but you have to have your wits about you. And I've covered that subject in great details in other videos before, so I won't go over it again. But the point was, this guy had obviously had a disagreement and decided to leg it down Beach Road. And within about 10 seconds, this guy jumped on a motorbike. 2 or 3 lads were chasing after him. This guy jumped on a motorbike, turned the motorbike around, zipped down to Beach Road, and just kung fu kicked him straight in the back, put him down, and that was it. See you later, mate. You're in a world of trouble. So, again, you know, these street vendors, they can be a pain in the arse. You know, you can be laying on the bed and on the sunbed, and they'll tickle your foot, or they'll prod you, and they'll wake you up. You're like, for God's sake, man, go away with you. If I want something, I'll bloody ask you for it. I know it's frustrating, and it really, really is frustrating. But don't turn that frustration into aggression, because that aggression is going to lead you into a world of trouble. All right, so after I've said all of that, and I can imagine you sitting there going, bloody hell, you know, and he wants us to come out here. It's nothing like I've said. I mean, I've just pretty much grabbed every single opportunity of confrontation. I've wrapped it up into a 20-minute video for you guys, and that's it. The long and short of it is you come out here, you keep yourself streetwise, you keep yourself level-headed, you'll have a fantastic time, you really will. And as I've shown in other videos in the past, and you know, I'll continue to show you, things are really picking up right now. It's a really good vibe around the city. So, you know, it's good to see you guys coming over, and I hope more and more of you come over in the not too distant future. I know certainly they're looking at taking away all the restrictions, the PCR test. A pandemic is going to be turned into an endemic, and all these kind of things. So, you know, don't be put off by this video. All I want to try and do is just give you a heads up about things that may in your own mind not be so volatile, but can quickly turn volatile. And at the end of the day, we have to remember one thing and one thing only. You are a guest in this country. Whether you like it or not, you are a guest in this country. And one thing that the Thais tend to be, generally speaking, is very loyal to each other. So, you know, you can piece all that together, work it all out, and you can see for yourself that's the situation we're in. All right, so remember, girls, you know, be polite, don't manhandle them. Honestly, just don't touch them, because the minute you do, you put yourself in the firing line. Stay away from physical contact. Ladyboys, don't kid yourself. These are not ladies, these are dudes. And they are going to just take their stilettos off and they're going to play tennis with you. So please, you know, again, stay away. Thai men, losing face. They cannot lose face. They will not lose face. So guys, avoid the confrontation. Just say I'm sorry and keep walking. Get yourself away from danger, away from any situations. Other foreigners, other tourists, drunk men, you know, again, it's just not worth it, guys. Leave it alone, say you're sorry, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you look at me and think, oh, I could rattle you around, it doesn't matter. I always say, listen, I'm sorry, fella. And I walk away, I don't care. And yes, I can look after myself, and yes, I can stand my ground, but I won't. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, fella, and I just walk away. It's done. It's not worth the aggravation and the trouble that it will bring to your doorstep, and it will. And lastly, street vendors, you know, be polite. don't get angry with them, don't push them, don't shove them, any of that sort of stuff. I know they're a pain in the arse, I know they really are, but again, just accept it and say, listen fella, I'm not interested, turn your back and ignore them, and they will eventually go away. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Incidentally, one of the things that I am going to do in the not too distant future is I'm currently pursuing the Patreon opportunity, the platform there, where I'm working very hard with two fantastic guys, and Roman and Ryan are helping me out tremendously, where I can produce videos that don't have to conform, if that makes sense, if you know what I'm saying to you there. So I can actually share you the real nitty-gritty of what goes on here, some examples, some photos, some videos, all these kind of things. So stay tuned for that, guys. Watch that, please. There will be a paid membership area, but I think it'll be fantastic value, and it's going to be cheap as chips, so therefore, you know, hopefully it's a winner for everybody. All right, so there we go. That's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. If you haven't already, jump onto Discord. I mentioned it earlier in the video. 12,300 members now. So obviously we must be doing something right. So please have a look at that. There's a link in the description down below. And if you would like to support the channel, there is also our members area there. I think membership starts from as little as 89p a month. All right, thank you very much for watching, guys. That's it from me. And please, as always, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.